Well, here we are entering the main patio area, which has a lot of things in the garden. We still have strawberries, which maybe you can't see very well, but the strawberries, which need to be planted, now topsy-turvy. And I forget what that's called, but I'll remember it later. And of course we have some geraniums. Yes, gardenia and geraniums. And of course we have our lovely grapevines, as you can see. Grapevines, along with our fake grapes that serve as lights. And here we have our hanging strawberries. One should always have hanging strawberries. And more grapevines. And if we follow the grapevines along, we come to our first tomato, which is a Cherokee tomato, and with our wisteria in the background. And we have our cherry tomatoes here. These are our Juliet cherry tomatoes, next to our cucumbers, which are a little bit wilted in the heat of the early afternoon, but they perk back up, and some zucchini. And as we work around here, we have some more tomatoes, our Roma tomatoes. This is our big tomato collection. We have our Roma tomatoes. We have more of our Cherokee. And we have more Roma tomatoes. And more Romas. And a couple more Cherokees. And then we go to our eggplant. Let's see if we can get a copy of our beautiful eggplant flower. And we do have more buds coming out on the eggplant. So we're going to have quite a few eggplants. And then we have some of our arugula here. In a pot which will have chives when they start to grow. And some cilantro. And our basil. And our English thyme. And here we have another zucchini. And then as we continue along, come along and join us, Dina. Don't shake your head at me. Oh, I forgot. We also have some peppers and some little tiny cherry tomatoes and some more peppers. And we have, if we ever get any actual real fruit on here, we have tomatillo. Zoom in and see the tomatillo better. And then we have our collard greens that we're growing. Some of them are doing very well. And our winter squash. This is the buttercup winter squash. Some more arugula. And then we have our green beans. Our lovely green beans, and some more basil if it ever decides to grow any bigger than that. Ooh, some is starting to actually take off. Of course, we have our big rosemary bush from hell. This is like 8 or 9 years old. And some of our lavender, which is nice. Of course, this is Monty's backyard, where I have continued my garden. And here we have some zucchini and some winter squash growing. And we have our mandarin orange tree. And then we have all of our corn, which is slowly coming up. We should have well over 100 stalks of corn when that comes up. And way over there, here we go, we have some sunflowers that are coming up. We should have about 40 sunflowers by the time we're finished, when they all come up. And we have mint growing all over the place. And that's a tree that got really hurt by the frost, but we're surviving it. The grapefruit tree, the orange tree. Way over there, that is an apricot. We didn't get any apricots this year. And then that there is a peach tree. And then we have the pomegranate, and that's doing well. And over there is our dwarf nectarine. We actually have fruit this year because we got a frost. So we actually have nectarines. As we come closer to the pomegranate, let me see if we can find a nice... Here's some pomegranates that are actually growing on the tree. And here's a flower. It's on its way out, but we have a pomegranate flower. And hidden in amongst all these flowers here, we actually have a lemon tree that we're trying to get to grow back. And a blood orange, which we're trying to get to grow back. Here we have some more winter squash. That is the buttercup. Now, artichokes are not looking very happy in the heat, but we have artichokes here. And they're getting ready to open into their flowers. And then here is our apple tree. And we actually have apples on it. We have some apples that are growing, which is very cool. And then one more lemon tree, which is coming back from the frost. Of course, lots of green plants that we have all around the garden. And hidden in that shade cloth is actually some beefsteak tomatoes that are still kind of young, so we're trying to protect them from the sun while they grow. And this is the garden that has plenty of greens and nothing but greens. Parsley, peppers, cabbages and celery, asparagus and watercress, and fiddle ferns and lettuce. She said, all right, but it wasn't quite, because I caught her in the autumn in my garden one night. She was robbing me, raping me, raiding my arugula and ripping up the rampia, my champion, my favorite. I should have laid a spell on her right there. Could have turned her into a dog, or a stare, or a stone, or a snake. But I let her have the rampia. I had lots to spare. In return, however, I said, fair is fair. You can let me have the baby that your wife will bear, and we'll call it square.